Some people look at you and think you're strong, but what they don't see is the war you've already survived inside. They don't see the nights you've wrestled with fear, fear of failing, of not being enough, of being rejected, forgotten or misunderstood, and sometimes the fear doesn't even have a name. It just rises uninvited and paralyzes. But there's something few ever realize. Even in the grip of fear, you never stopped. Maybe you slowed down. Maybe you took a few steps back. Maybe you stayed silent when every part of you wanted to scream. But you never truly gave up. That's where the difference lies. That's the quiet evidence that you carry something sacred. Even the chosen ones feel fear. But they don't bow to it. They tremble. Yes, but they keep walking. They don't always have guarantees. But they trust anyway. They don't always know how, but deep down, they understand why, because fear, more often than not, is the final veil before awakening. It rises strongest when something inside you is shifting. If you feel you're standing at the edge of something new, and it feels like your soul is being pulled forward, this message is for you. This is not a message about fearless living. It's about sacred courage, the kind that walks forward even while shaking. The kind that chooses to trust God, not because there's no fear, but because there is something more important than fear. Many of our fears began in childhood. We were told you can't, you shouldn't, that's not safe, that's not for you. And we believed it because we trusted the ones who told us. The fear entered quietly, disguised as care, advice or caution, and made a home in us. Most people never question it. They just accept it and build their lives around avoiding what might hurt. Fear becomes their compass, their cage, their constant whisper, and eventually it becomes their normal. But you are not most people. Your soul knows it was not born to live behind invisible bars. You feel there is more beyond the limitations you were taught to accept. And to reach it, you must first recognize the fear. Not all of it is yours. Some of it was passed down, through wounds your family never healed, through beliefs you absorbed without realizing, fear that wears the face of your past, but has no place in your future. God does not call the chosen to live hidden. He calls them to live free. And that freedom begins the moment you look fear in the eye and ask, is this real, or is this something I just learned to fear? You see, fear grows in silence, in hiding, in avoidance, but once you bring it into the light, once you name it, claim it and say, this is what I'm afraid of, you begin to take back your power. Courage doesn't need to shout. Sometimes it just means standing still without running. Sometimes it means breathing through the pain without numbing it. You don't need to defeat fear, you just need to stop feeding it. Fear was learned, and anything learned can be unlearned. It may have been given space once, but you don't have to keep giving it room. Most fear is rooted in control, the desire to hold everything in your hands, to predict, to prevent, to guarantee. But life doesn't work that way. You can't control the wind. The problem isn't the wind, it's expecting it to follow your command. Letting go doesn't mean surrendering to chaos. It means aligning with a higher wisdom. It means transferring the weight, from fear to faith, from control to trust, from ego to spirit. And that is where your true strength begins. Because the soul that trusts doesn't need a map. It walks through darkness with the quiet certainty that it will not fall. God doesn't require you to understand everything. He simply asks that you trust the process. Fear only holds power when you flee from it. But when you face it with presence, not panic, not denial, something inside you transforms. You begin to breathe in the middle of the storm. You begin to feel without running, to sit with the